when they contract, they pull on the hair itself, they pull on the hair follicle, and they make the hair stand up. So the erector pili muscle is responsible for goosebumps. So if you're cold or if you are scared or freaked out and you get your hair standing up, it's these erector pili muscles that are responsible for that.
There's a back thing around the...
Yeah, so this would be one, and this would be one also. The little red structures that are attached. And they look like muscle. They're attached, and they are muscles. They look like they're red and have fibers like muscles. They're attached to the hair follicles. Those are erector pili muscles. The next thing on your list are sense organs. This is kind of vague, but your skin has a lot of sensory structures in it. You have a couple of different options for sense organs. Up here, at the very top of the dermis, you have these little bitty circular, kind of oval structures. These are called Meissner's corpuscles. You don't really need to know the name of them, you can just know them as sense organs. But these are for sensing light touch and pressure.
Yeah.
So if somebody brushes up against your arm, you're going to feel that touch in these little sensory spaces. This one down here kind of looks like a fruit by the foot. I don't know if you guys ever ate those as kids, but they're like those fruit snacks that are like rolled in a circle. Anyway, kind of looks like a fruit by the foot to me, but this is called a Pacinian corpuscle down at the bottom. This is for deep pressure. So if somebody were to come up and press on your arm, you're going to feel it deeper in your skin. So it's going to be pressure, and this is what this will be sensing. It will be deeper pressure. So either these top structures or the bottom one, the Pacinian corpuscle, will be considered sensory structures. And then the last thing on your list are nerves. So your skin also has a lot of nerves, because if it's going to be sensing pressure and touch, it's going to have some kind of nerve to relay that message to the brain. So the nerves are these little black lines coming off of the Meissner's corpuscles. So any of the little black lines, they look branched like nerves are nerves coming off of the sensory organs. Okay? So that's the skin in a nutshell. We'll do the heart next. It's the next one on your list. Let me move up to the heart. The heart, there's a really good picture of the heart on 398 and 399 in your lab book. And if you want to do that, you kind of follow along with the parts of the heart. The human heart is basically the same, set up the same way as the pig. So if you got it for the pig, you should be able to get it for a person. It's just bigger, so it's actually easier to tell parts of. The heart does come off with sand, so if you are studying and you want to pick it up and manipulate it, you can do that. I'll try to leave it loose on the test so you can pick it up if you want to turn it around or whatever. But the first thing I would recommend doing when you're looking at the heart is to set it up like it's in your body. So that way you know which side's the right side and which side's the left side. That way you don't get confused. The side on the right, if it's facing outward, out of your body, is your right side. The side on the left is your left side. So hopefully that helped a little bit. So the first thing on your list is the right atrium, which is this flap here. It's got a lowercase letter a, so if you want to write down the code or whatever, letter A is the right atrium. The left atrium is the smaller atrium over here on the other side. It's got a lowercase letter b, so that's going to be your left atrium. Your right ventricle is the big bottom chamber on this side under the right atrium. It doesn't have a specific number on it that I see. The left ventricle is going to be on this side, the large one, the large chamber at the bottom under the left atrium. The heart does open, so you can take it apart. I recommend taking it apart and looking inside, because there are going to be some structures inside that you need to know. You have the tricuspid valve, which is on the right side. So that's going to be this little valve in here that separates the right atrium and right ventricle. So that's the tricuspid valve. The bicuspid or mitral valve, it's just two names for the same thing. That's going to be the inside of the left ventricle. So that separates the left atrium and left ventricle. So it's going to be a white structure. Looks like the bicuspid valve has a lowercase h on it. The tricuspid valve doesn't have an obvious letter. So bicuspid is the letter H. You can write that down. The next structure on your list are the chordae tendineae. These are going to be these little white fibers coming off the valves on either side. And what these do is they anchor the valve to the muscle of the heart so that when the heart is contracting, the valve stays in place so it doesn't open or close when your heart doesn't want it to. So these are the chordae tendineae. There's some on either side, and they're going to be those little stringy cord-like structures on the valve. Then you have the capillary muscles. The capillary muscles are the muscles inside the ventricles that the chordae tendineae attach to. Looks like this one's number 2. This would be a capillary muscle. They're the ones inside the ventricles that the valves and the chordae tendineae attach to. Okay. What's next? The aortic semilunar valve is the next thing on your list. That's going to be the valve that opens up into the aorta. So if you open up your heart and you look inside, it's letter lowercase k, and it's got a red outline. This goes from the left ventricle through the aorta. So this is the valve inside, basically at the opening of the aorta, the aortic semilunar valve. Okay. The pulmonary semilunar valve is the one that goes into the opening of the pulmonary trunk. So that's going to be this blue outline one going from the right ventricle into the pulmonary trunk. It also has a lowercase letter k, but it's got a blue outline instead of red. So that's the one going into the pulmonary trunk. The septum is this portion, this big thick portion of the muscle that separates the ventricles. Looks like it has a capital letter B and a Roman numeral 3 on the septum. So this is the muscle that separates the two ventricles. The coronary artery and vein are the next things on your list. These are the same place they were on your pig. The coronary artery is this artery here that basically kind of separates the ventricles on the outside. And the coronary vein is the blue vein that separates the ventricles. That was the coronary artery and the coronary vein. The pulmonary trunk is in the same place as was in the pig. It's this big blue vessel coming off of the right ventricle. It's got lowercase f on it. That's the pulmonary trunk. So that's going to take blood from the right ventricle to the pulmonary arteries to the lungs. The pulmonary arteries are going to be on the back of the heart. You're probably going to be able to see them better on the back of the heart. It's this big blue vessel that goes along the back. Remember that the pulmonary artery is blue and the pulmonary vein is red. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these vessels, because the pulmonary artery is carrying deoxygenated blood and the pulmonary vein is carrying oxygenated blood. So the blue one is the pulmonary artery. The pulmonary veins, which are the next thing on your list, are the two red veins on the back, the two red vessels on the back. They are lowercase g, are the pulmonary veins, lowercase g. The superior vena cava is the next thing on the list. That's going to be this big blue vessel coming into the top of the heart. It's lowercase c is its letter. That's going to be bringing blood from the top of the body into the heart. So deoxygenated blood, pulmonary, or in the superior vena cava. The inferior vena cava is on the bottom. They don't have much of the vessel itself, but it's this opening here on the bottom of the heart. This is the inferior vena cava, so it's going to be bringing blood from the lower body into the heart. That's inferior vena cava. The aortic arch is going to be up here where the aorta starts to turn. It's number 7. So this would be your aortic arch. This is going to be taking blood to the rest of the body, except for the lungs. So your aortic arch. There's three branches off of the aorta on the top of the heart. And if you have the heart facing outward, the one closest to the pulmonary, to the superior vena cava is the brachiocephalic artery. So if you're holding it outward, the first one on the right, on your right, is the brachiocephalic artery. The middle one is the left common carotid artery, and then the farthest one over is the left subclavian artery. So it goes brachiocephalic, common carotid, subclavian from the vena cava over. So you do need to know those 3. They're on your list, so just learn what order they go in and try to keep those 3 straight. And then the last thing is layer along here is the renal cortex. Okay. The renal medulla is the middle layer that's got kind of this darker brown color stuff in it. This is the renal medulla. So here, the renal pyramids are each little segment of brown. They're kind of fan shaped. Each of these segments is a renal pyramid. So the renal pyramids are in the renal medulla. Okay. And I'll try to be specific on the test if I'm asking for the pyramid, I'll point to a specific pyramid and I'll say identify the structure. If I'm asking for the medulla, I'll say identify the layer of the kidney. That way you know I'm looking for the whole layer, not just the single pyramid. The last part of the whole kidney is this white cream colored area here. This is the renal pelvis. So this is where the urine that's formed in the cortex and medulla drains into. And then this structure here coming off is the ureter. So this is what's going to carry the urine from the kidney to the bladder. So the renal medulla is sort of like a pooling, or the pelvis, I'm sorry, it's like a pooling area where the urine pools and collects until it goes through the ureter to the bladder. Okay. So those are just the main parts